Welcome back to the F&S Podcast on the F&S Network. This is a special segment. This is kind of some breaking news. What's his name? Dan Hurley rejected the LA Lakers job. That's his name?
Yeah, Dan Hurley.
He rejected the LA Lakers job, and actually, I thought that he was getting paid. I don't know why I thought he was getting paid like $100-something million. That's my ignorance. But he's only getting paid, not only, but he's getting paid in his 30s, and he rejected $70-something million. So is that not alarming?
Not when you think about it from every angle. Because when you think about it from every angle, this is part of the reason why I feel like he stayed.
Mm-hmm.
College has been having its fair share of corruption. Let's just put it like that. College has had its fair share of corruption. And one of the things of recent, and when I say recent, I mean within the last 5 years,
mm-hmm.
it's been like pretty obvious that players have been getting taken advantage of by the college.
Keep talking. I'm about to plug Ethernet in. I'm listening to you. Keep talking.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So, in college, up until the NIL deals thing started to happen, the coaches was the only ones that was legally getting paid. The coaches was the ones that was getting the shoe deals and the contracts that you would think would be worthy of going to the player. While the players, some of the players did messed up in college while they were there. One of Connecticut's own players, Shabazz Napier. But Shabazz Napier, because of the whole student athlete thing, when he was like, I believe the story was something like when he would get out of practice, and if he was hungry and the cafeteria shut down, he wasn't allowed to go off campus to get something to eat. Like it was some kind of...
Shabazz Napier, that was the role player in the league, right?
Yeah, he didn't really have much of a career in the league as far as I can remember.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I get what you're saying, but what does this guy do with him rejecting? You think they paying him extra money?
What I'm saying is the coaches have the power in college football. I mean, college.
Right.
The coaches have the power.
Right.
He and given for his personal case, he built the program. He has it running well. He has a lot of the say of what happens there when it comes to basketball. Being a 2-time back-to-back champion, now he can get even better talent because his coaching system and style is proven.
Right.
You could say he can coach harder in college than he can in the pros. Whereas and this is not just a Lakers thing, even though he's tied to the Lakers, but coaching stability in the NBA just is not as good as it should be.
I agree with you. So how about this? When they said this, the report where they was pretty much saying that what they offered him 7 years and like I think 70 million or something. It was around that ballpark figure. I don't got it pulled up right in front of me.
It was 6 years, $70 million.
6, okay. So from what I understand, they was assuring him that he was gonna have full range pretty much, and they gonna let him do what he do because it's for the future.
Right.
It's not basically because LeBron's finna be out of there at some point. Like his,
Right.
I mean, he's at the end. I mean, at this, it's pretty much any month, year now type stuff where he can just be gone. You know what I'm saying? And then Anthony Davis, I don't think for people to say he young and all that, that's fine, but his body isn't. So I don't see him being around there that much longer. I can see them going with the youth movement or whatnot, if you want to say that. So they said that he'll be able to build, I guess, a development type of program there where they develop players, because the Lakers aren't known for development. They never have been known for development. They always been known for trades and getting cats that's already proven and bringing them in the purple and gold. There's never been a development situation. I guess they were saying they will go in that direction as far as development, and he still rejected it.
Right. Which I feel like I feel like that would be something that would be intriguing if the Lakers weren't already tied to a couple of coaches getting fired early. One of them, in my personal opinion, I feel like it was deserving because he should have never had the job.
And
yes.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, Frank Vogel, I feel like that wasn't deserving. I just feel like that was just them having an scapegoat because the GM did a poor job of putting the team together and expecting to win. When they had it was that one team where everybody on the team was like over 30, something like that. You know, so it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, you expect him to win with all these old cats when the game is moving as fast as it is, and these dudes trying to play slow, like the Carmelo team, Russell.
Melo and them, Russ and them.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this when it comes to that roster. I feel like, because it's kind of similar in this new Pistons Warriors debate. They didn't make people play their game. See, because at some point you got to play defense, but they also have to play defense. You know what I'm saying? So when you play in a fast break game and the other team is playing the half court game, it gets frustrating because they could slow the pace down any given time. So I'm not gonna say that's a coaching issue, but that with a team like that should have been implemented where they play a half court style of game. They did not have to. When you have a team with older age veterans and things like that with minimal youth, you have to play the half court game pretty much on your end. You have to. You know what I'm saying? So
right, facts.
You should never try to emulate the young game when you older. It just doesn't work.
Facts. But the thing that was hurting them and that roster is that was the year that Russell Westbrook could make a layup.
Right.
Carmelo Anthony wasn't hitting shots on a consistent basis. Like, you would get a good game from him every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was during the time frame of Anthony Davis and his injury proneness being at its height. Mm-hmm. That was a thing.
Right.
So there was nothing working in the favor of them even playing a half-court style of game because they had no perimeter shooting. So anytime they would try to force a shot or anytime they would put something up, if they wasn't making it, the other team was running.
Yeah.
And they was, trailing behind.
Right.
But anyway, to get back to the Dan Hurley thing, from a Dan Hurley perspective, he's already living in somewhat of a perfect world for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's won 2 chips, he's established a culture, he has say-so. I mean, it's everything that a coach should want and would want.
The Lakers are offering him that, though.
Yeah, but you can bet your bottom dollar that he's getting paid too over there. Like that.
He is getting paid.
Being honest, Right. Yeah. Like if we being honest about it, 70 million over 6 years is probably a pay cut for him to go to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about all the endorsements and all the different boosters and all the different under the table payments that get made with that school over the year and stuff like that, like
But
that's
usually,
probably a thing.
when you transition from to the next level, you do initially take a pay cut in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how that works anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
what was you about to say?
yeah, so that made me think of I don't know if you've seen that video clip that I sent you, but Sam Acho, he made a point that he was like, normally when you get into sports, you always have the goal of making it to the highest level possible.
Yeah, I seen that.
Right.
When you do one where they was at that round table or one around table. But.
Right. And so he was like, it's head scratching because he was coaching high school 10 years ago,
mm-hmm.
and then he went to this other school, then he went to this other school, then he came to Connecticut, won 2 championships, gets offered the job by one of the biggest teams in sports, period. Not just basketball, biggest teams in sports, period. This is an international logo that makes money no matter where it's at. You get offered the job to go there, and you turn it down to stay at the level that you was at. And so I felt like that was a good, solid point.
It is a solid point. But look, people acting like they scared to say what it is. And I ain't talking about you. Well, some people are. But there's some other things that be going, like none of us is inside that Lakers facility or wherever the case or in the offices to know what's going on. Only type of information that we get is what's leaked and what's put out there. You know what I'm saying? But for him to turn that down, it's something more to that than what's being told. Because initially it don't make any sense to me, even if it's the LeBron situation, because you know, I would say this about LeBron. The league created that monster. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say entitlement or whatever you want to say, and affiliated with that, the league created that, and the teams he was on created that. The only team, like you said, that really put their foot down with him was Miami, and he wasn't there that long.
Right. And you know, this problem started before LeBron. This problem started with Michael Jordan, if we're being honest. When the league just caters to one player.
True that. That's true.
Now given
was it to this degree though?
Well, no, because Jordan didn't bounce around to different teams, but neither did Jordan deal with bad GMs and things of that nature like LeBron dealt with. Like right. Jordan, even when he wasn't winning, you can say he had a good coach in Doug Collins. He just didn't win.
You like Doug? I thought you. All right, okay.
No, I'm not a fan of Doug Collins, but I remember Doug Collins being a good coach, not a great coach, but right. being a good coach.
Right.
You know, and so he had I ain't gonna say he had let me see. You can say he was just treated better as the years went on with the franchise that he got drafted by.
Jordan?
Yes. Because the way Cleveland treated LeBron, it was like they wasn't really interested in getting him some of the top players.
That is true. I don't disagree with that at all. I that's all facts. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, the players doing what they was doing in the media, which was bogus. But you know, all rookies get to smoke. So I just don't really. It is what it is. That right there, I don't look too much into that really, because all rookies get treated like crap when they come in the league. Every last one of them. So I mean, it is what it is on that. But as far as like him, like I said before, he always got dealt the bad hand with coaches. Now, I like Paul Silas as a coach. You know what I'm saying? I do. I don't think he's a bad coach. You know what I'm saying? I like him, but he wasn't around long. You know, for whatever reason, like we already talked about that. For whatever reason, Boozer left and all that type of stuff. So they had, to me, they had a championship caliber team right there with Paul Silas, and that did not, you know, work out. And then, you know, who was my man? He won a championship with Lou, but the black guy before that, he was proven
Mike Brown.
Oh, Mike Brown. He won a championship with Mike Brown? Or it was
No,
yeah. Mike Brown. Well, Mike Brown, at this point in time, he's a good coach. He's not a bad coach. He wasn't a bad coach then, but he was he was new at the time.
I just feel like when it comes to those trio coaches, one, I don't technically agree with the whole they had a championship team right there kind of thing.
Who you talking about with Darius Miles, Ricky Davis, and them, Boozer?
Yeah,
and Brian.
Yeah,
I'm meaning after a couple
they could have been like on that
together,
Oklahoma City type status.
if they would have stuck together, because LeBron, after his first year, was already official. If they would have stuck around for a couple years and everybody got in line and played their roles, that was a big team to deal with.
Right? Yeah, I hear you. I feel what you're saying. I do agree. Had they would have stayed together, they could have been something special. But
yeah, that's all I'm saying. I don't mean like instantly.
Yeah,
I mean like with like 2-3 years or something like that.
The egos definitely got in the way.
They was bugging. They was Ricky Hazlett before he got in.
Right, because Carlos Boozer was talking about he don't want to play second to LeBron, but yet you go to Utah and you play second to Darren Williams.
Yeah, he was clearly the second in Utah. That wasn't no question. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. you can argue that Karolinko
was third.
More, you know what I'm saying, official than him. So I mean, he ain't gonna even play them games. But that's where you know, guys like Pat Riley come into place, or official. That's why I get it as far as the coaching, because a guy like Pat Riley, if that team was under Pat Riley's jurisdiction, them egos wouldn't be in place. I would say that.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. Now, we did mention earlier about this, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, about Ron getting...
Ron? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to talk to these people about... Because, see, this is the thing, right? LeBron is a great elite basketball player. I'm talking, like, when I look at these dudes, man, like, when I keep hearing stuff years upon years, like, I don't believe everything I hear, right? But I don't think everything's a lie either. There's something in the middle that's true here. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, with people, LeBron, look, I'm not with kissing people's behind. If somebody got bad personality traits, they got bad personality traits. And sometimes LeBron displays those things, you know what I'm saying, to the public. He displays it sometimes. So, and then, you know, with this situation with Bronny, right? This is clear that he's clearly pulling strings behind the scenes. That's clear. I don't care. Nobody say that's straight evident. For you to turn down, for you to be in the position you in to turn down teams, man, there's something going on. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on.
Right.
So if he's able to pull those strings, why wouldn't he be able to pull strings on the team he's on? And the way Jeannie Buss, I've never seen an owner be that necessarily friendly with somebody. I know it's a woman, you know what I'm saying? So I give it a little bit of grace, but I've never seen a GM owner, whatever, be that chummy with a player like that. I get the vibes where I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to keep this guy type stuff. That's the type of vibes I get from that. So it wouldn't surprise me if he is pulling strings behind the scenes in LA to some certain degree, or throwing bugs in ears to get folks removed and stuff like that. Because Vogel shouldn't have been fired. We all know that. He shouldn't have been fired at all.
Well, I mean, the only rebuttal that I'll say to the Bronny James stuff is with Bron being in the league as long as he's been,
Mm-hmm.
he knows who the joke franchises are, and
Yeah.
he knows who the ones that's serious about their business.
So
And
Phoenix is.
well, like I said, they got different people in the office that Bron may trust because don't forget, James Jones is the general manager.
Right,
Bron
and James Jones, the same guy who said he gonna unlock some stuff Kevin Durant didn't. What? Like, I mean,
look, I know he said something that was off the wall when he said that, but I'm just thinking about the big picture here. James Jones and LeBron James was teammates on Miami.
Right, when he was in Cleveland too, I believe.
So James Jones and Bron, they probably have some sort of respect for basketball minds, I guess you could say, because for him to get the job as a general manager shows that he must have a brain for something. He wasn't the coldest player, but shows you that he has a brain.
Oh, I'm not disputing that.
So I'm just saying that because as a father, your natural inclination is to want to protect your child from getting into a bad situation if you can do that.
And that's what I'm saying from what I seen earlier. I mean, I'm like, look, he can't control it. It's his son. So, I mean, he's not composed right now. I could see he is pulling the strings. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dog, come on, man. Like, I get it, but this is obvious. And they keep trying to cover it up because, dog, like, it's obvious. This stuff is clear as day. Like, it's clear as day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for the media coverage, because he's with Clutch Sports, right? Brandon's with Clutch Sports, right? He's with Clutch.
I believe so.
So, you getting the media tabs. Why is he taking up so much media space? God knows. You know what I'm saying? Then, you rejecting workouts like you, the number 1 draft pick. So, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, given this, I do feel like had Michael Jordan's kids actually been potentially draft eligible players while Michael Jordan was still playing, I feel like that would be getting media coverage like this too.
I'm not gonna disagree with that
because there's a couple things that factor into this. The media is much bigger now than it has ever been before. Anything that happens is going to get blown more. It's going to blow up more than anything that happened in the past.
Way bigger. It's way bigger. But but that also shows the negative traits of certain people that you can't necessarily hide, and they can't hide because they can't help themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just can't help themselves.
True.
So,
but from a Lakers perspective, this is where I scratch my head and I point my finger mainly to the Lakers office and the people doing business, because LeBron is a free agent. He can go wherever he wants to go.
Is he?
So you offer
free agent?
Yeah, he's an actual free agent. This is part of the reason why he set it up this way, so he can just go to whatever team Bronny goes to, gets drafted to. That's part of the reason why all these other teams, every now and then, you hear this thing talking about, well, I'll just draft Bronny just because I know that means I got LeBron in my back pocket too.
You think he playing possum just to get somebody to draft his son?
I can't say that because I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised though, because he has the ability to do it. I can't necessarily be mad at Bron for doing all that he can to support his son.
Listen, now, I told you, I've never been mad at him for that. I'm not mad at him for that. Right. It's just, the way this thing is looking crazy, man. Like, like for he should not, like, a player should never, due to, like I said earlier, due to the lack of order in the league, look at the product and look what's going on. Like, no one can argue with that.
Exactly.
The players need to be in their place.
But going back to the Lakers messing up on this head coaching thing, like, this is their fault. this is all they fault.
Oh, 100% agree. I 100% agree. I do not disagree with that whatsoever. 100%.
Because one, you know LeBron's 40. You know LeBron's 40. You know Anthony Davis is injury prone, even though he had a good healthy year this year.
Mm-hmm.
You right now you're sitting with a roster that if it wasn't for those two players, y'all probably wouldn't even made the playoffs.
They're low key stuck, if you be honest. Like they kind of stuck. Like at this point, there's no way they can go except for rebuild.
Well, I mean, technically, they can still do something because with the free agents that's available, what they choose to do with as far as trying to get Bron back or letting him walk. I heard possible trade packages for Anthony Davis to go to Chicago. And that was just me hearing it only one time, so I don't know how legit that is.
I've been seeing that. I almost think that's fake, bro. I'm be honest. So, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past being something that has like how you say, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Would you do it with DeRozan and Levine? Because that's the package I've been seeing, and I think some draft picks or something.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
No, I'm asking because I know you're not big on Levine like that. So I'm just asking, like,
no, I'm not big on neither one of them. But
DeRozan or Levine?
No, I'm not big on neither one of them because DeRozan, he notoriously doesn't do what he needs to do in the playoffs. Notoriously.
Right.
So and then Levine, I just don't think he got that dog in.
Right. So I mean, would they be any better if you traded Anthony Davis for them two?
They would be better fit to play this new league style of play with ball. I'll say that because they top scorers would be at the two guard, small forward spots, which is in that case they would be able to compete easier. I would say with the top teams because now all those teams that they would go through that has defenders for them spots when they only had to worry about guarding LeBron being 40. Now they got to worry about guarding two guys. And that changed the dynamics a little bit. Whereas Anthony Davis, given that he's talented when he does choose to show up, he doesn't choose to show up every game. And we've seen him, he can't match. He can't match the impact or come close to the impact that Nikola Jokic does, which is as long as the Denver Nuggets is going to be up there where they at, they're going to possibly have to run through them. I mean, so I see that as like staying parallel. I don't see that as being significantly improved. I just see that as being better equipped to compete with the teams today.
To be honest, like, you're removing them, like, man, it's the thing. Like, I understand, like, my thing is I don't view, and maybe focusing on saying at this point of LeBron's career, I don't view him like he's gonna get numbers, but the numbers to me is hollow. LeBron James is elite, all-time great, but he's at the back end of his career. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And he does not impact the game the same no more. It's clear as day, it's evident, man. Because if this was, I say this, if this was Miami Heat, LeBron, it's a whole different story to me. But it's not. You can watch the game.
I still think he impacts the game. I just don't think that.
I don't think it's to the highest clip. Like it's not.
No,
you're not.
No, but like,
huh?
The way he impacts the game, though, you can still say that he impacts the game more than some of the players in the league that's in their 20s right now.
Right, which is wild. And that's the point. Which is wild that you looking at a 40-year-old still because of the lack of official dudes that's in the league. That's crazy. Folks should be ashamed of themselves. Okay, that y'all still worried about a 40-year-old guy who, I mean, come on, son. Like this is crazy. The fact that the Lakers is catering to, like, still trying to cater to him right now is kind of wild. Because remember when the Wizards, they was not feeling Jordan, you know what I'm saying? And they wasn't trying to cater to Michael Jordan. They're like, man, you 38 years old, man.
Well, given they didn't win nothing with Michael Jordan either.
That true that, but the last time the Lakers won was in 2020. What year was that? Yeah, true. And it's 2024. Look, so I mean, past. That's past tense. And they got bounced. They got bounced the first round last year. They lost to the same team twice. You know what I'm saying? So they keep running to the brick wall, which is Jokic.
Well, last year they made it to the Western Conference Finals. This year they got bounced out the first round.
And by who? So, Jokic.
I hear what you're saying, and you're right. And I still feel like, that's where I feel like Darvin Ham showed that he didn't deserve his job. He don't know he's not ready for these lights yet. He's not ready for these lights, and to be honest with you, I don't even know how well he knows basketball. To be honest with you.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
Well, I mean, look.
Cold. Wasn't he on the championship coaching staff? And didn't they give him praise? You got to know something. You got to know something.
Look, the only thing that he got praise for that I've seen and that I've heard, he got praise for Giannis's development. What does
development is knowing some sort of basketball.
Hold up.
That's knowing something.
Well, okay, so let's look at the player that Giannis is.
He's
what
Russell
skills
Westbrook.
Does he really have?
He's 6'9" Russell Westbrook. That's what he is.
So he ain't got no skill.
I mean, listen, you already know I'm not no fan of Giannis.
Look,
you know that.
Look.
But the Bucks did bring him back, though, didn't they? They just brought him back real quick.
True that. But that was probably to please Giannis. That was probably to please Giannis. Giannis probably wanted him back in the building because he knows that he's tied to Giannis being what he is now, which is, I still don't know what exactly that is outside of the away.
He served some type of good, and guess what? He assisted in some way of them winning the championship in some sort of fashion. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, look, Darvin Ham, I'm not.
Okay, so let me
Darvin Ham, dog. Like, I'm not.
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
Have you seen anything from Darvin Ham over the past 2 years coaching the Lakers that makes you say he's a good coach?
Not for them, no. I'm gonna say for them, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Nope, I'm not gonna. But
that's why I said he didn't even deserve the job first.
For them, no, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe, and I stand by, I don't believe no rookie head coach. And I say rookie head coach because you still is. If you never had a head coaching position in the league, that's rookie head coach. So I don't believe no rookie head coach should get a team like that at all. You need to do what Chauncey and them is doing and develop straight young dudes. And so you can make your mistakes, because all your mistakes is gonna be on the national stage. That's why he didn't look. That's why everybody is cooking him, because for one, every mistake he make is gonna be expanded upon because it's the purple and gold and LeBron is there. That's just that simple. So every mistake he make, other coaches made these mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? They made it on a lower scale and it's not watched nationally. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, well,
that's the other thing.
Darvin Ham got a bad deal here. You know what I'm saying? Because you should have. He accepted the job, so he was over his head. So I blame him for that. But also the scrutiny is like, come on, man, he a rookie head coach. That's why I can't really go that hard in the paint, because he a rookie head coach. You know what I'm saying? And then you dealing with a dude like LeBron, who when stuff go wrong, he give me the clipboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm doing it. He the type to call audibles, man. You know what I'm saying? Real quick.
Which is like, okay, that's a double-edged sword there, because on one end, you could say that's a player doing what's necessary to try to win. But on the other hand, you can say that's a player crossing boundaries.
Yeah, that's a lack of respect, man.
Which is, who respects losing? I don't know how many people respect losing like that. But does this fall into the trait of a player hating to lose?
It's not,
because
it's not about that. Sometimes it's about control. See, like, cause we not gonna like LeBron, like.
Well, hold up now. What's the whole purpose for playing the game?
Huh? What you mean? It's to win. Like, everybody can't though. So I mean, really, the whole point is, you know, it's gonna be how many teams in the league? 32.
It's 30.
30. It's gonna be 29 teams losing every year. So I mean, everybody can't win every year. But it's all about effort and handling your business and getting better. I ain't saying you respect losing, but you do not cross boundaries either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Respect your position. Point blank. Period.
Which to me, this goes back to the Lakers front office. Right. Every angle that I think about this, it goes back to the Lakers front office, whether it's Jeannie Buss or Rob Pelinka or whoever it is that makes the decisions that to bring these players in, whoever has the final say. I think it always points. It's going back to them, because
to be fair,
go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, for you to have LeBron at this stage in his career, and to still be having Anthony Davis or whatever he can give you, why would you bring in a coach like Darvin Ham to be the head coach? I don't understand why his name even hit the table.
But from what I understand, that was signed off on by you know who. From what I understand, I could be wrong here, but from what I understand, that was signed off. And that's the thing.
Signed off by who?
Ron. When I understand, I know he wanted Lou. But I'm not. Don't quote me on this. This is loosely, but
I never heard that before.
You know, it's all type of fake articles. That's why I say loosely. This is not right. This is something I've seen, but hey, it is what it is.
If that is true, Braun signed off on him. Then, if it is true that Braun is beating the table to get him fired, then Braun serves some responsibility here. But even then, it still points back to the front office as to, like, okay, like you said, considering the opinion of your best player on the team is always something that you should do. But why you even have the job is for you to make the decision.
Like I told you earlier, just because you qualified, that don't mean you good at it.
Right.
You can have the qualifications. You can go to school and get a little certificate. You qualified, but that don't mean you know exactly what you're doing when you get in there either. You know what I'm saying? Like, at you, Josh, would you allow LeBron James to have all that juice in your franchise?
I wouldn't allow anybody to have all that juice.
All right, then. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this to me makes no sense.
Well, like I said, this is the bed that they made and they got to lay in it. Because they started a bad pattern. And to me, it speaks volumes that you had Jerry West and he left.
I haven't heard anything good about, if you be honest, what good if you heard anybody say anything about Jeannie Buss or Pelinka? You see how Magic left. You see how he left.
Exactly.
He didn't say nothing crazy, but you could read between the lines with what he was saying and why he left, man.
Right. And so for them to leave the way they left, to me, that that shows red flags of what's going on inside the office. Like Magic, he left, but remember he was still kind of like a consultant
for a little while.
a little bit.
He was a little bit, but I mean,
I don't know if he's still doing that.
Nah, I don't think he done.
To me, that said, I want to help the Lakers. I just don't want to deal with the people in the office.
And look, rightfully so. I mean, if they not letting him do what he do, because Magic just don't seem like the type that's gonna allow. Because I remember specifically, I was out of town when I was listening to this. Specifically, he was sitting there. This is the first time, because I think this is before Brown was there. Or was he there? I don't know, whatever. But he was like, I need everybody 2% body fat. You know what I'm saying? All that. He was talking like, look, I need folks to be on their stuff. You know, he don't seem like the type that's. You can tell by his business acumen that he's not with the nonsense, dog.
Right.
He's all about handling business. It's clear as day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that he would allow LeBron to have all this juice. Like
right.
That.
And he clearly knows how to build a winning team for sports, because he's won in baseball, he's won in soccer, and now he's about to. Well, this is his first year, so it's gonna probably take some time. But he's part owner. He's part owner of the Washington Commanders.
Oh, they're the Commanders? I don't know why I call them the Nationals.
Yeah. So like he knows what he's doing. For Laker royalty, NBA royalty to that degree, to lead like that. That got to say something about the people that's there.
Think about it like this. What's been the state of the Lakers since Jeanie Buss been? Let's be real here. What's been the state of the Lakers since Jeanie Buss been there?
When did she take over? Because I know she was there when Kobe was there.
Right, but they wasn't good. I mean, like, what you talking about? She wasn't. Was she head in charge when they won a championship?
Back in 09? I don't remember. I need to. That's something that I gotta look.
For a greater part of her tenure, they have not been official. They have not been official. It's been like, yo, and it's like, what are you doing? And only reason her last name is Buss.
Right.
She's in that position because of her last name. It's just that simple. Like, there ain't no other reason. It's because of her last name, dog. Because y'all look at this position they in right now. Let's think about this. If this was back in 2003 or something, right? And if there was a head coach vacancy for LA, you don't think coaches would be throwing their application? Just, hey, I'm available. You know what I mean? Like, there'd be people. They wouldn't have to search for coaches. The coaches would be coming to them.
Right. And you know what? I mean, like I said, this to me, every time, no matter what angle I think about it, my finger always is pointing mainly back to the front office. Whether that's Jeanie Buss, Rob Pelinka, combination of both of them, or other people in the office that I just don't know their name. Because this is the pattern. This has been going on for years, and the hottest coach in college basketball turned your offer down.
Now, didn't you say he's scared of a challenge? I think you said that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, because maybe there could be some of that. Because at UConn, he wasn't expected to win, not no championship. He wasn't expected to win championships at UConn. He won championships like you didn't see it coming. And now that he's done it twice, and both times from the beginning of the season, to the beginning of the tournament, UConn wasn't picked to win the championship, but yet he won. So for him, succeeding without expectation has been his theme.
Is that a problem though?
No, it's not a problem at all. But when you put on that purple and gold, you automatically have expectation. And your production needs to match your expectation with that franchise because that's their standard. All of them stars around their logo represents all of the championships that they won.
But he don't deserve any type of room. Like, this the thing. I don't understand why these folks, not even talking about you, I'm just talking about just, this is not microwave food, man. Like, he's still gonna need, you hire him, he's still gonna need time.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless.
Right.
There is no,
right.
He's gonna make mistakes regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then next thing you know, he gonna be on the plank like Darvin Ham, like, yo, this dude is terrible. He was only like, he's a rookie head coach, man. Give him some time. Didn't Nick Saban go to the NFL and wasn't cold? Had to go back to college?
Well, he didn't have to go back. He chose to leave.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he left early. He left after 1 year. And
right.
It wasn't because he got kicked out. It was because he just chose to leave.
Right.
Which you know, going back to that coaches having the power thing. Maybe that's the thing with him. He likes having all the power.
Well, they was talking about that before, how that a lot of coaches don't like this NIL situation. And that was a possible reason why he even looking to go to the NBA now, because of the NIL.
Right. So for him, I can't necessarily say what that is the case. I just feel like we have to mention it because that's every angle of why he could have chose to stay where he was at.
I mean, also,
I feel.
You don't think that? Okay, I say this because I give Brian this, right, because I know a lot of people. Oh, Brian, do you think maybe it's because of Brian's age and him not going to be in there, not going to be there for the foreseeable future is the reason why he rejected it too? Could that be a possibility? Like, well, I'm not going to be.
That could have something to do. That could have something to do with it, because when you look at the roster without LeBron, I feel like that would discourage some coaches. Because like you said, any floor general is the extension of the coach. So you can make adjustments on the court without me having to call timeout, pretty much.
Right.
And you see Bron's value now. Like when he's sitting down on the floor, for the most part, the team starts to play worse. They're not as efficient. And so maybe that has something to do with it. But when you get a contract that says you get 6 years, $70 million, the theory behind that contract says that you'll have time to build and develop your system and your culture.
Well, that's what they told him. So, but let me ask you this about Dan Hurley, right? Because I don't know.
Before you go there, he could be looking at that same situation with Darvin Ham. Because I don't know how many years Darvin Ham had left on his contract with the Lakers. But that was an early termination right there. And so he looks around the landscape of the league, right? Darvin Ham got fired this year. Frank Vogel got fired this year. Adrian Griffin got fired this year. I feel like somebody else got fired too that I'm not thinking of.
Suns. Vogel got fired again. Remember?
Yeah, I said Vogel. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
It was Vogel. It was Ham. It was Griffin. I think those key dudes, man. I think those are the key guys who got fired.
Right.
Yeah, them the key guys.
So, and it could potentially be 4 if the Pistons follow through with some of the things that we've been hearing.
Is he wrong for looking at it that way, though, if he is?
No, he's not wrong at all for looking at it that way, because you got to think about it like him. He's 51 years old. He's most likely married. He most likely has kids. He most likely has a house. He most likely wants some not just stability for himself, but he also wants stability for his family.
Right. And I don't think anything wrong. Like, I ain't saying you, but as far as even like
there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Even if it's like, oh, not want to challenge himself, right? I don't necessarily view it that way because of the shakiness of the league. Now, if I was guaranteed on some, it has to be written, but even then, that stuff could be broken. If you're gonna let me coach out this tenor here, okay then. If you're gonna actually really let me do what I do and not trip, because we finna have a couple rough seasons. That's just what, there's no way, like, they're gonna have a couple rough seasons. And I'm thinking that they understood that, maybe, because from what I understand, they say that, oh, Brian said don't hire a coach in thoughts to me, because I'm at the end, hire a coach for the future. Allegedly, that's what was said. Allegedly, right? And this is a coach for the future. But for him to not have that confidence says a lot about the league in a whole, or just that franchise, because it's like, well, if he don't feel like he can coach a team, like, I don't, like, you don't want to put yourself or your family in a situation to where once I have a bad year, I have a bad stretch, or if I go on a 10-game losing streak, because all of that is realistic. All that's realistic. Right. It's easy to have a 10, 15-game losing streak, especially when you're rebuilding. It's straight like that. You just gonna have.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is part of the reason why the Lakers was trying to hire him now. They were trying to get a coach in there for 1, the draft, and 2, free agents. So right now, any coach that would take any job in the NBA would have those 2 things working in their favor. They can start to implement some changes right away with the roster, based on who they draft and based on who they go after in free agents. So for him to have those things in his back pocket, still have Anthony Davis under contract. LeBron is up in the air, but you got a strong chance that you can keep him. Your roster is not bad. Like, they just wasn't, like, for one, some of your critical role players wasn't healthy at the right times. Like, they didn't see none of Jared Vanderbilt.
Right.
Gabe Vincent, he came back late and never seemed to catch his rhythm back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say his name because he contributes, but Austin Reeves is there, so you have Christian Wood. Well, I think he's a free agent, but
I will leave if I'm him. But go ahead.
Right. You got Rui Hachimura over there still, who I think is still a good player. It's just that the Lakers ain't using him right. Hit Darvin Ham.
I agree.
I mean, the roster isn't bad. It's just not an elite roster. And
at this point, you don't have to have an elite roster. Look, you don't have to have an elite roster to win.
In this day and age,
because I don't think anybody would call the Nuggets an elite roster.
No, but teams that, I mean, for this day and age standard,
even the Mavericks,
you having right, but for this day and age standard, for you to have it, what can be considered an elite roster, they really just saying you just need to have a deep team full of quality players,
Okay.
which is like right now that's just Boston.
Yeah, I mean, what coaches at this point is available? What was you about to say though? What was you asking me?
Well, and I was gonna say you can kind of say Dallas does have an elite roster ever since they made their moves at the trade deadline. It's just that right now we don't know what Jason Kidd is doing right now.
Jason Kidd not using the elite. Like, look here, Jason Kidd is not doing what he's supposed to do.
We're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that
tomorrow.
We're gonna
talk about that.
Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that tomorrow. But there's no, at this point, I'm trying to look at the coaches that's out here that's available off the top of my head, and it seemed like they burned bridges. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody want to come over there. And I said this earlier, I'm like, don't nobody, and I almost feel like that was a smokescreen, but he denied the job to make it look like JJ Redick won't get the job, even though he's going to get the job. Because when I understand, I was listening to one of these podcasts or sports shows, and JJ Redick was pretty much literally saying he had the job by not saying he had the job, but saying he had it.
Well, look, at the end of the day,
what happens if they hire JJ Redick, dog? Like, I'm saying, what's your thoughts if this cat is announced and you see JJ Redick at the podium as the head coach? They should have just kept Darvin Ham at that point.
Well, at this point, what that would mean to me is that they would be pretty much starting from scratch. I would think that would mean that. I mean, I know him and Bron is podcasting and whatnot together and whatnot, but I'll say this. As far as JJ Redick is concerned, does he have a better basketball IQ than Darvin Ham? It seems that way.
Does that translate to coaching?
We don't know.
Because you could be on a...
There is no guarantee.
You could be on a podcast and be talking all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? True, Rob Parker mentioned this about some cat for the Lions. I can't remember his name, but he was all on sports shows talking like he was super official. And I mean, this is a football savant. Couldn't coach a lick. Almost
he was even talking about.
Huh?
He was even talking about. Well, if it was a former Lions head coach, then that means he was talking about Matt Patricia.
Was it Matt Patricia? No, it was way before that. Because Matt Patricia, he came from the Patriots. Yeah. And but don't get me started on that guy. We'd get on him in the NFL season. But, like, JJ Redick gives me smartest guy in the room attitude. He gives me that. And his condescending attitude, I don't know how that will work with the guys who, like they said, when they said these guys didn't have no experience, like Pat Riley and them and stuff like that, or who was it? They was already a decade out playing or something like that. They did not coach the same era they played in, man. JJ Redick isn't too far from playing. He ain't too far from playing. And these guys is a little different. So I get that he be on the podcast, breaking down his knowledge. That's fine. Anybody can talk. Anybody can talk the game. But can you lead? Can you be a leader of these men? How is this knowledge going to look fourth quarter, 10 seconds left? You know what I'm saying? 98 to 96. How is that going to look then with the lights on you and the fans there? That's different from sitting on the couch talking on a podcast.
Yes, it is different, and clearly it was different for Darvin Ham too because he didn't know it.
I'm just saying, he's going to be a rookie head coach. He's going to have issues. Period. Every single one.
Right. And so that's why I'm saying that should spell starting from scratch, taking your lumps.
Okay,
learning.
So if you want,
But I'm gonna say the same thing about JJ Redick that I said about everybody else. If that's what you want to do, as long as LeBron James is a player on that roster, that's not the job for you.
Because if you're gonna start,
go coach the Hornets, go coach the Wizards,
absolutely,
go coach them, because that's where you can coach without pressure, and you can show whether or not you know what you're doing or you don't know what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying. And so
now,
given
they not gonna have the players, so you're gonna lose a lot.
That don't matter. It's all about like it's a look. That's not gonna be an easy. You have to, in order to develop a system, it's gonna take a couple years. You have to find the players to fit it. You have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? And you got it's a lot more to it than just, I'm gonna come coach you guys. You gotta have guys that's willing to buy into what you presenting, and then if they don't buy in, you gonna have to try to convince the GM to get certain guys, and that they gotta be, mind you can have your eye on somebody, but then 4 or 5 other teams got the eye on them too. So you gotta go through bidding wars. It's not just that simple. That's why I take
it. And given this is probably the only thing good that can come out of JJ Redick getting that job, because JJ Redick, he fairly recently was a player in this league, and he was able to see the transition between old school mindset type of players and coaches to new school mindset player and coaches. He should have a better understanding of how to reach the young players of this era, because it's kind of clear that old school style don't work with him. That's the only thing that he might have working in his favor, because like you said, having all the basketball knowledge and understanding, it can only get you so far, because at the end of the day, for you to be a coach, you got to be a good teacher. But not only just a good teacher, you got to be able to teach the players in a way that they will understand. That they can take what you're saying, show you that they understand it, and then display what you want them to do on the court.
I'm gonna just go ahead.
And I hate that it's the way that it is, because as a professional, you should be honing in on your craft on your own. You should be trying to understand as best as you can. I mean, first of all, if you in the NBA, you should be more than just an individual basketball player. Like, you should have some understanding of the game for you to be called a professional.
It should be mandatory. Like, it shouldn't even be. Shouldn't even be attached to that. But go ahead.
Right. Because there's no other professional career where you could get the job and not know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And be expected to keep the job.
That's why football have better rookies.
Right.
And they always produce better rookies. So, whatever though.
But like the Lakers, I don't know who's next outside of JJ Redick. I already know. For
he the front runner, man. He really the front runner for real. He is.
For one, I would always be trying to go get Mark Jackson. I feel like Mark Jackson would take this job. I do. I really do feel like Mark Jackson would take the job with LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Why not? They and you won't be able to. Mark Jackson commands respect.
Right.
You're not snatching the clipboard from Mark Jackson. I guarantee you that.
Right. And he would tell him the straight up truth about his son.
Which something he needs to hear. Look, Bronny, I don't think this is the thing with Bronny, and this is my only thing with him. I don't think looking at him, I don't think he's any worse than any of these guys. To be honest, I don't think he's any worse than any of these guys in the draft. To be real with you, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because these dudes, man. But do I think he'd be a solid pro? Yes, I do. But that takes time. Folks is trying. Look, if you go all the way back, I don't know what interview this was, but he was with Savannah. It was a little clip. I never seen the whole interview, but I seen the clip, right, where Savannah was like, oh, you know how moms is. Oh, if you don't want to play, blah, blah, and LeBron like, no, I want him in the NBA. He said that, how riled his body, like, no, I want him there. He said that on TV, which lets me know he wants him there. He gonna front like, no, it's his decision. No, he wants him there. So he can stop playing these games. LeBron's gonna get him there. He's gonna be there.
Bronny wants him. So that's
that's
a good thing about him.
We see that because he changed physically. Like you can see the work he put in.
Right, and Bronny, to be honest with you, I can see him being drafted by any team and at bare minimum be viewed as a project long term.
No, he's definitely, look, as long as he put the work in. Look, at the end of the day, this is the thing when it comes to, I don't really put much stock into, I mean, some you have to, but I don't put much stock in the draft placement because really the key is getting through the door. As long as you get in, that's where the show starts. And that's where you work your way. Now, politics do play a part, but I don't think Bronny's going to have to deal with any politics. If anything, it's playing in his favor. So, but he seemed to have a work ethic. As long as he have the work ethic, he'll be fine. He will be, see a Drew Holiday kind of guy here.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know about that.
What you mean?
But.
What you mean?
But, when I say I don't know about that, I mean, Drew Holiday is an elite level defender with size. Because I think he's like 6'4", something like that. I feel like, he probably can be more of a defensive player, like how who Davion Mitchell is?
Yeah, listen, Davion Mitchell, I know who that is. I look at Donovan.
Because they about the same size. Davion Mitchell, he's a small guard that's mainly a defensive player and contributes a little something on offense.
Davion not that big either. Like I could see, this is the thing, because I look at Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is kind of a husky dude, man. I'm like, man, this dude kind of got built a little bit. I could see LeBron getting that size. I mean, Bronny. Well, his name is LeBron, but I could see him getting that size. If he gets that, because he ain't done like physically yet. He already done put some muscle on him, right? So I could see him getting up to Donovan Mitchell's size. And Bronny isn't exactly slow either. You know what I'm saying? So he plays a physical brand of Donovan Mitchell's not a defender. I'm thinking of the size of Donovan Mitchell. If he locks in on what he's able to be, I think he could be a serviceable defender. I'm not saying he'd be exactly Drew Holiday. I say Drew Holiday-esque kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do that. I think he could be that because he puts the work in. I could see him because I think he has a higher motor than Donovan Mitchell.
Right. Well, I mean, look. I mean, the story still is waiting to be told for him.
The work got to get put in. That's all I'm saying. This means nothing if you don't put the work in.
Well, I mean, I ain't really worried about that part with him. I feel like he's gonna do everything that he can to do it. Like he ain't gonna be out here being lazy like some other players.
Yeah.
That got pops that played in the league. But I feel like he will put the work in, and he might be a little bit of a journeyman to start off his career. He
wrong
might
with that.
be a little bit of a journeyman.
Might have to find a home.
Right. Because I mean, he gonna be all right. But as far as the Lakers losing out on Dan Hurley, um, look, they I heard that they was possibly entertaining one of the assistant coaches that was on the staff too for the head coaching job. So I don't know how realistic that's
What
going to be,
happened to
but
the Cassell thing?
well, I apparently they not on San Francisco. Apparently, but I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I would have offered San Francisco the job before I would have went for Dan Hurley. To be honest with you.
Exactly.
Same.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what happened to the negotiation? I mean, well, they probably didn't even hit negotiation phase. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Don't be surprised if y'all see JJ Redick before the draft, and then y'all don't see any more. Mind of the Game podcast? Is that the name?
I think it's called Mind.
It's gonna be on halt. I'll tell you that. Like, if I say this, I ain't gonna say this. I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think it's a possibility if they hire JJ Redick, LeBron is up out of there? That's a conflict of interest.
I think so. I think so because on a number of reasons. One, Bron needs to, or the Lakers need to, somebody needs to, they need to not look like it's the buddy thing going on.
Don't look that way.
And so if JJ gets the job and LeBron resigns, that's going to be some messed up stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if Bron leaves, that could be another thing where Bron's like looking out for JJ, where it's like, look, I don't want to be in your way. Kind of deal.
It looks bad for both parties, so he almost, in a sense, have to.
Right, and so at that point, if LeBron walks away, you might as well get rid of Anthony Davis. You ain't getting far with him just being the guy.
So at that point, would you make that Bulls trade if it was on the table?
Me personally, I would want that trade, but I would probably accept it just to fill the void of a guard and forward position type of player.
Right.
Because those are the kind of guys that, like how you said, Austin Reeves can come off the bench. There you go. Austin Reeves comes off the bench. I don't know if he'll be 6-man or anything like that, but you have Levine, DeRozan, and Rui Hachimura probably in your starting lineup.
And this the problem with the bad crop of talent. Before we get out of here, this is the problem because even if you had the 3 in your starting lineup, if you had a crop of cold players out there, that's enough right there to get a point guard in the center to come in, and those are good role players to have with you.
Right. The only question with the team is who's going to be the number one guy.
Well, who?
Who's going to be the number? If they was to do that trade with Anthony Davis and them, who's going to be the number one guy?
It had to be DeRozan.
No.
Levine ain't no number one dude. I mean, I know you. Look, I say this.
Neither is DeRozan.
Yeah, more so than Levine.
Yeah, but DeRozan, he ain't no spring chicken either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you getting
temporary investment.
You getting more. I mean, we talk about with them two there, right? If hypothetically, if that was to happen, Levine shows he can't be enough. Like, even when he was. LaVine is a guy who can I compare him to? He don't move the needle, period, whatsoever. He just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't move the needle.
I was gonna say Larry Hughes, but I ain't really sure about that.
Larry Hughes, I think brought a little more to the table than LaVine, dog.
Yeah. That's why I said I'm not
yeah,
sure
Larry
about
Hughes, he played in a different time. He was
right.
kind of official. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, Zach LaVine is good on the fast
probably
break.
Probably like a Jason, maybe is it Jason Richardson?
Jay Rich brought a little more. He can do a little like.
Well, Jason Richardson was underachiever too. Like he never was number
he
one
was
guy.
definitely. I think that's
he
a pretty
never,
solid. That's a solid comparison because if you look at LaVine when he was with the Wolves, you're like, yo, this dude could be something. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of it was blinded by because he had amazing open court dunks and he could shoot a little bit. I mean, like you said, he don't got in his chest like that at all. You know what I'm saying? Jay Rich,
right?
He got buried under all the two guards he played against, so you can say that.
He was that dog like that. Like it wouldn't have mattered. He would have took his because Jason Richardson had the ability to be a number one guy. He just never had the production of a number one guy. Like Jason Richardson, if he would have lived up to his potential, he wouldn't have been taking no backseat to Joe Johnson.
No, look, I agree with you. Jay Rich, you know what I mean? Like they're very similar. Dunk contest stars, all that good stuff. They got their fame off of that, but it never translated on the court. So I think that's a pretty solid comparison. Them two, solid.
Right.
So that's why I say DeRozan. At least you gonna get more consistent offense from him. At least you know you can throw it to him, and at least you gonna get some consistency out there. I mean, this isn't a good option either way. So I'm just trying to make something out of two. So, you know what I mean?
Me personally, I'm probably if I'm JJ Redick and I know I'm gonna have to develop young guys, I'm probably trading away to get draft picks. And even though these players aren't that good this year coming out, maybe you can give me a next year's draft pick. Maybe there's gonna be something better coming out that year. Give me a next year's draft pick and some of your young players that don't get no playing time like that. Like I would be on it. I would be on trying to get young guys. I would probably entertain bringing back Brandon Ingram to see what I can do with him. I mean, even though he's been disappointing himself, as you said, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, when he shows up to play, with his size and his skill set, he can't be stopped.
Exactly. But, you know.
So like, I mean, I don't know. Is this one of those things where he needs to see a sports psychologist?
I don't know. I mean, he don't got any, like, I don't see the motor. I've been looking for it because actually, like, with the Pelicans, like, I was like, yo, the Pelicans, dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like the Pelicans. I like the Pelicans. Like, I do. I like Zion. I like the team. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Ingram, technically, basketball-wise, the best player on that team. He don't show it, though. Like, you literally the best basketball player on that team. Like, and he don't show it. And when he turned up, though, you see it. Like, oh, this cat. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
very easy to tell.
But he don't. He don't have it in his chest, dog. He just got the size and he got the ability, but he don't. You gotta have that other gear too. You can have the size and the ability all you want, but if you don't got the drive and the heart, it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess that conclude because you know folks gotta get up. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
You know what I mean? And we gonna be back tomorrow. Shoot.
I can't tell you what time exactly. It might be about the same time.
Same
maybe
time.
Maybe a little bit earlier.
I prepare for that time.
Maybe a little bit earlier. I'll stay up to date with you.
Yeah, I just say I will prepare for the same time, pretty much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I just prepare for that, and if it's earlier, it's earlier, because my route tomorrow don't look too crazy, but you know how that go. Yeah. But that concludes the show. Appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back.
Peace.
Yep.
Can I rap? On the path to being the best power in the airwaves, changing the way we break it down the game. Wide body on the highway, we not in one lane, no nonsense. Logic with every topic. The talk too real, the party we not invited. Want the truth? F&S subscribe to it. The death shows, who's play and ride to it. The voice is more important than the image. Feel every word spoken, no need for camera tricks. We on the grind, freeze corner with Jay sideline. DBP next in line. You gotta feel heat to know when you're fired. We in it for the long haul, the fatigue's off, we don't get tired. Nah, we don't get tired.